I got to watch this a couple of days ago. Sound of Freedom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. Now, this one was like a huge success in the theater, despite like everyone
on the left bashing it.
Yeah, everyone on the left pretty much calling it
what it is, yeah.
Some propaganda. I don't know, like it's some weird shit, you know. First off, it's a true story. This is about this Tim Ballard, who, you know, went undercover, got into a pedophile ring, and you know, saved a bunch of kids, you know.
Yeah.
Now there was a lot of hype behind it, you know, because again, it made a lot of money. It was all this, so you know, I went into this kind of excited, right?
In Hollywood were giving it bad reviews, and even actors and actresses famous were like bashing it or downplaying it or snubbing it in some way. On top of the media, on top of politicians publicly coming out.
Movie I'm not gonna watch.
Kind of a rough take. I think the movie was a little overhyped. You know, I thought honestly, I was expecting something good. I do appreciate that it was wholesome. You know, and it's okay. You know, but I gotta say that. But anyway, action movie. It kind of starts off with
really
this.
Was not a lot of action.
This girl
You know
getting.
what I mean? Like you got maybe like there was definitely some tense moments and
for like
honestly
young pictures
for
like
the weight
teen
of what's going
young
on,
modeling,
you know,
for acting talent agency type shit, right?
They were.
And then she hooks
guess,
the little girl
appropriate
and her brother
with how they
it's coming to go get
topic.
pictures. The
That
father
was one thing I was
drives them on the
very
bus, signs
nervous.
consent form or
You know,
whatever.
they didn't show anything simulated.
You know, and they're picked up by like this young model chick. She was like, "Yeah, no, we'll take him here." You know, they
just
come get their
enough.
shots.
You know what I mean?
He drops them off at the place.
Not over the line.
She's like, "Parents can't be here." But
I think there was
come
one
pick 'em
scene,
up at
and I'm really
7:30.
curious to see how they filmed.
When he comes back at 7:30,
there was
it's an
one
empty
scene
fucking
where it was
apartment.
like,
wow.
The
you know,
girl was
and
on the bed.
from there,
and
I'm
the
like,
guy
my
was-
heart's
he was
pumping, like,
taking his
oh my
belt
God,
off.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that shit's intense.
But
It's
like
now
even then, it's
turned
like
into
the girl
Taken.
who's
playing the role.
Yeah, but
How did they
It's essentially
prep her for that?
and
Or like,
but,
was it a
then,
dual
yeah, I
shot
guess
where
it-
it was
from
like
there,
she
it
was
shifts
not
to,
really on
this
the
guy,
bed?
Jim Caviezel.
You know what I
known
mean?
for
Like,
playing
was it
Jesus
double
and the
take?
Passion.
And
Because
sometimes
from,
they'll do that, like even
now
with
playing
Linda
a
Blair
savior
in the
again, I
original
guess, right?
Exorcist,
But,
they had an over 18-year-old stand-in
Yeah.
for the
But
then
you know, they cut to him,
13-year-old
and he's like,
you know,
actress girl.
trying to
for
hook
the,
some
like the
pedos,
crucifix scene and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
get them
and
arrested,
even some of the
like,
language.
do
You
some
know, they had
crazy
the
stuff.
stand-in just read
So you
some of
got
the
some
lines
crazy,
too.
you got some like cool stuff there.
So
yeah, from what I understand, this one kind of
again,
really
you know,
went out of
it's-
its way. Like the kids didn't know
they
what
don't
type of movie
show
they were
any-
in. I'm really
this is my one
you
big
know,
credit
like they
to the
kept them in
movie.
the dark. Like
Is
you're gonna
that
be sad
at
because you
the
didn't get a
safe
cookie.
enough,
You know, like
like,
some shit
or,
like that
uh,
action.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
they didn't push it too
So-
far.
Kubrick
where I
did
didn't
that.
want-
Yeah,
was it-
then
I
actually,
think
The
they-
Shining, they didn't show, even
What?
fake
They
or
made
whatever.
it
More like he was,
a
the
kid's
behind the
sex scene. Let's
scenes,
just
they
keep
talk
it
about
real.
how they
Yeah.
had little
Yeah.
Danny
Kids
just
getting
playing
fucked,
like,
right? Not even fake
like he
fucked.
was doing like a drama
No,
role,
not
like
even-
a little
yeah,
ghost
exactly.
stuff, but they
Well,
didn't really
and
tell
again,
him.
like this
or
other
they didn't-
movie
you know what I
that
mean?
we
Like
just
I
talked
just
about,
remember Stanley
the,
Kubrick, the behind the
Leave
scenes
the
of The
World
Shining,
Behind.
how
had
they
nothing to
explained
do
how they
with any
kept
of that,
little
but they still
Danny,
had
the
to have a
actor, in real life,
simulated
in
like,
the
fucking
dark
jerk-off
about
scene
like
with
what
the
he like
kid.
when he
And
received
it's like why?
when he
It
reacts to the little
served
girls, the twins
nothing.
in the hallway.
Honestly, you
They
could have
just
had
told
the
him
same
act
scene where
scared.
he's
They didn't
just
tell
in bed
him like,
looking
oh,
at
you're
the
gonna see
picture.
ghosts now,
Like-
you know.
And that's it. You know,
I'm not doing it justice, but
no,
they
no,
showed
no. But
him
I
with
actually,
both
I think,
hands just
I think
scrolling through his
you're getting
phone. If they're trying to
the
say,
beat of it.
you know, this
yeah, it's just his
13-year-old
directing
boy who's
style.
obviously going
So,
through
like,
puberty.
whatever
as
you do,
the
don't
young
look up
girl
how
is
he
in the
treated
house
Shelley
walking around in a
Duvall.
bikini. It's like,
Yeah,
all right, you get
yeah.
it. It's one of
I
these-
think he did
instead,
everything but take
he
his
just got
shit
the
on
one
her.
hand on the
Like-
phone and the one hand.
Yeah, like all right,
Like,
see the blanket.
that would have
It's
been
like,
better.
oh,
Apparently, how they treated her.
Sickos.
and this movie
Boyfriend,
went,
but yeah, I think it was a little
child
overhyped.
trafficking is the
Back to it, but
main plot.
still a good movie.
You know, still a good movie. Again, you know,
It was,
I think there's a place for it. I did.
They
appreciate
handle
the
it like with
wholesomeness of it.
very tasteful. You know,
Yeah, wholesome.
it's
That's
very
the way
wholesome.
she used that word, and the
I
first
use
time
that
I was
word.
like,
It's
yeah,
very wholesome.
Yeah, you love that word.
Wholesome.
Wholesome. Down to it.
Wholesome.
All right, so
No, no,
Yeah,
but,
even though the
then-
subject is not
Yeah,
so
that-
wholesome.
Well,
yeah, but
that
that much I
again,
give
yeah,
him
because
tons of credit.
you got
for.
a
I think
clear
that would
hero and
probably
villain.
be my biggest positive for it.
That's
but-
what's up.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
Um,
you know, and good
let's
triumphs.
see,
I'll try to be quick with grading
it-
this. It does have that. I actually thought of another movie we didn't even.
There's like
Movie I'm not
they
gonna
do
watch.
follow one specific
Okay.
family
Yeah,
just-
you know, yeah. I thought honestly, I was expecting something
or not care?
more, to be honest. You
I don't
know,
care. In fact, that's a movie I'm
it's
not gonna
okay.
watch.
You know,
Okay.
but anyway,
I
yeah.
just
You know,
can't.
it kind of starts off. I thought honestly, I was expecting
this girl,
something getting more, to be honest. You know,
like,
it is okay. You
for,
know,
like young pictures.
but anyway, like teen.
it kind of starts off
young
with this,
modeling.
This girl,
acting talent
getting,
agency type shit, right?
Mhm.
like,
And then
solicited
for
for
like
young
she hooks the little
pictures for,
girl
like,
and her brother,
like
teen
it's coming to go
young
get
modeling.
pictures. The father
for
drives
acting
them on the
talent
bus,
agency
signs a
type shit,
consent
right?
form
Or
or
whatever. And then
she,
you know, and they're picked
she
up by
hooks
like
the
this
little
young
girl and her
model
brother.
chick. She was like, "Yeah,
It's
no, we'll
coming to
take
go
them
get
here. You know,
pictures.
they're
The
gonna come get
father
their shots."
drives them
She
on the
drops
bus,
signs
he
of
drops them
consent
off at
form or
the
whatever.
place. She's like,
Parents
and
can't
they're
be
picked
here,
up by
but
like this young
come pick 'em up
model
at
chick.
7:30.
She was like, "Yeah, no, we'll take you
When he
here."
comes
You
back
know,
at
they're gonna come
7:30,
get
it's
their
an
shots.
empty fucking
He
apartment.
drops them off at the place, you know, and she's like,
From there,
"Parents can't
I'm
be
like
here,
my
but
heart's pumping, like,
come
oh
pick 'em
my
up at
god,
7:30.
you know what I mean? Like,
When
he comes back at 7:30, it's an
empty.
empty fucking
It's
apartment.
now turned into
Wow.
Taken.
You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah, but
you
from
know,
there,
it's
I'm like my
essentially-
heart's pumping, like, oh my
Um,
god, you know what I mean?
but,
Like,
yeah.
I guess
it's
from
from
there
there,
it shifts
It's
to
now
this guy,
turned
Jim
into
Caviezel,
Taken.
known for playing Jesus in the Passion.
It's essentially
Now playing a savior again, I guess. Right?
then
But yeah, I guess it
from
there it shifts to
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy, Jim
But
Caviezel,
you know, they cut to him and
known for playing
he's like,
Jesus in the
you know,
Passion, trying to hook some pedos. Now playing a savior again, I
get
guess.
them
Right?
arrested and like
do some crazy bust.
yeah, yeah.
So you got some
but
crazy.
you know, they cut to
got some
him
like
and,
cool stuff
and
there.
he's like,
You know, trying to hook some pedos.
and again, you know, it's
get them
they don't
arrested.
show
and, like,
any. I'm
do some
really
crazy
this is
bust.
my one big.
So you got some
credit
crazy.
to the movie.
You got some like cool
is that
stuff
they
there.
kept it safe enough.
Like or
And again, you know, it's
you know
they didn't.
they
push
don't
it too
show
far, where
any.
I'm
like
Yeah,
is
they're not
my
gonna,
one
thank
big
God they didn't
credit
show
to the movie.
Stephen Fake or
is that
whatever,
kept
a
it
kid's
safe
sex scene.
enough.
Let's just keep it
Like
real.
or
You know, they didn't show any kids getting fucked,
you know,
right? Not
they
even
didn't
fake
push it too
fuck.
far. Where I didn't
No,
want.
like,
Yeah,
is
they're
it-
not
if-
gonna.
yeah,
Thank
exactly.
God they didn't
To
show
the-
Stephen
and
Fake or
again,
whatever.
like yeah, this other
a kid's
movie that
sex
we
scene.
just
Let's
talked
keep it
about,
real.
the
You know, they didn't show any kids
Leave the
getting
World
fucked, right?
Behind.
Not even fake
had
fuck.
nothing to do with any of that,
No,
but they still
not
had
even
to have a
good.
Yeah, exactly.
simulated
To
like
the credit.
and again, like yeah, this other movie
And
that
it's
we
like,
just
like,
talked
why?
about,
It
served nothing.
Leave the World
Honestly,
Behind.
you could
Yeah,
have nothing
the
to do
same
with
scene
any of
where
that,
he's
but they
just in
still
bed
had to have a
looking at the picture,
simulated like fucking
like,
jerk off scene with
and
the,
that's
with the
it.
TK.
You know,
And it's
Right.
like why?
They could have
It
just showed him
served
with both
nothing.
hands, just
Honestly,
scrolling through his
you
phone.
could have had
If
the
they're
same
trying to say
scene
that
where
he's
looking in
the
bed, looking
the
at the
13-year-old
picture,
boy who's
like,
obviously going through
and that's
puberty
it.
as
You know,
the young girl is
Right.
in the house walking
They
around.
could
They could
have
have just showed him with both hands,
like, all right,
just
you get it.
scrolling through his
So
phone. If
instead-
they're trying to
Just
say
kinda
that
Got
the
the
one
one end on the phone.
the
and the one hand
13-year-old
off.
boy who's
like,
obviously
alright.
going
You see
through
the blanket
puberty
movement,
as
it's like,
the young
oh.
girl is in the house
Fucking
walking around in a
sickos.
bikini.
And
It's like,
this
all right, you
movie
get it.
where
It's one-
it's pretty
instead-
much
He's got
child
the one hand on
trafficking
the
is
phone and the
the
one hand off.
Yeah, like all right, you see the
plot.
blanket movement. It's like, oh, come on.
fucking
you know?
sickos.
It was
in this movie where
it's pretty much
they handle it like
child
with
trafficking
very
is
tasteful.
you know,
Yeah, good.
it's very
Big
wholesome. If I could pick a word, you know,
Yeah, you love that word on his review.
It was
wholesome.
right.
They
No,
handle
no,
it
but,
like with very tasteful.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
know,
Yeah, good.
it's very wholesome.
Well, that
That much I give him tons of credit
Yeah,
for.
you
I
love
think
that
will
word
probably
in his
be
review.
my biggest positive.
Wholesome.
for it, but-
Mhm.
No, but
let's
yeah,
see.
no,
I'll try to be quick. With
well,
rating this.
that much I give him
I actually thought of
tons of
another
credit
movie
for. I
we
think
didn't
that would
even-
probably be my biggest
A
positive.
movie I'm not
for it,
gonna
but-
watch.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just
you know,
let's
see,
I'll
I'll
yeah,
try.
I
To be
thought
quick with
honestly,
rating
I was
this.
expecting something.
I actually thought of another movie we
more,
didn't
to be
even-
honest. You know,
even talk about that
it's
I saw,
okay.
but
You know,
maybe that should be. what I watch.
but anyway,
Alright,
we'll talk about it.
it kind of starts off with
Cinematography, I'd give this a
this
B.
girl,
No
getting,
crazy weird sideways shots or anything like that.
like,
Everything was
solicited
proper
for like young
It
pictures.
was average
For like it wasn't bad.
like teen for like young modeling.
So I give it a B.
Wasn't for acting
terrific.
talent agency
Yeah.
type
Right.
shit, right?
Mhm.
Soundtrack.
Give it a C.
She hooks the little
Nothing
girl
about it.
and her
It seemed
brother.
very kind of generic.
Coming to go get pictures. The father drives them on the bus, signs a
Acting
consent
dialogue,
or whatever.
I'm gonna go.
And they're picked up by like this young model chick. She was like, "Yeah, no, we'll take
No.
them here. You know,
I'll
they're
go
gonna
C
come
plus.
get their
Okay.
shots."
Yeah,
He
okay,
drops
okay.
them off at the place. She's like,
A little
"Parents
bit
can't
above
be here,
average,
but
and again,
come pick them up at
they
7:30."
knew how to dance around certain.
When he
things.
comes
I thought
back
that
at
the kid
7:30,
actors
it's
were
an
good,
empty
which
fucking
actually
Wow.
That needs to bump.
You know,
it up even
and
more.
from there, I'm
He's
like
a
my
good-
heart's pumping,
good
like
kid
oh my
actor,
god,
not
you
annoying.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that,
You know,
it's intense.
Yep. It's now turned into
so that
Taken.
that I'll give it credit for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
The plot
you
was
know,
good.
It's essentially.
Um,
But then
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
from
And
there
hey,
it
true
shifts
story.
to this
So
guy
that's
Jim
always a plus.
Caviezel,
Yeah.
known for playing Jesus in The Passion.
heavily based on a true story. I don't know how
Now
much
playing
they
on
changed or
Savior
not.
again, I guess, right? But
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the
why
credits they
did-
show like
yeah, yeah.
major,
But they cut to him
sequences from the
and
movie.
he's like,
and then they show the
trying to
real
hook some
event like
pedos,
through like surveillance
and get
footage,
them arrested and like
Oh wow.
do
like
some
certain
crazy
busts and stuff
So you
like
got some
that.
crazy.
Like they'll
you
show
got some
you
like
like
cool
the
stuff there.
parallels. So maybe there
And
was
again,
some
you know,
embellishment, but I don't think as
They
much.
don't show any.
as
I'm
you-
really.
as,
This is my
we're-
one big
we're
credit
used
to
to
the
in
movie.
Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Is that
they'll change the whole
kept it
fucking
safe
thing around.
enough.
Yeah.
Like or
This looks a little bit more.
they didn't push it too far. Where I didn't want
accurate
like
Yeah,
is
they're
it? I
not
think
gonna,
if they
thank God they didn't show
Okay, good,
Steven
that's actually
fake or
gonna
whatever
hurt points then too,
a
yeah.
kid's sex scene.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it
Yeah,
real.
absolutely.
You know, they didn't
Yeah.
show any kids getting fucked, right? Not even fake
So
fucked.
you know what? Yeah, that's gonna bump it to B plus.
Good.
Yeah, exactly.
To
Well,
their credit,
and
good.
again, like this other movie that we just
likability,
talked about, the Leave the World
I'm
Behind,
gonna go B minus.
had
Yes.
nothing to do with any of that, but they still had to have a
Still passing,
simulated
yeah, way
like
above
fucking
passing.
jerk off scene with the
What?
teeth
Yeah,
kit.
very well
And it's
above
like,
passing.
why?
And it still
It-
looked pretty
it served
decent grade. It's in
nothing.
the B range,
Honestly,
I'm sure.
you could have had the same
But,
scene where he's just
in bed looking at
yeah,
the picture.
it's just that it definitely, and that's it. You know,
It definitely was a little
Right.
bit overhyped.
So
They
anything
could have
else
just showed
with
him with
everything
both
that we, you
hands,
know,
just scrolling through his phone.
the
If
way
they're
they were
trying to
talking
say
about this
that,
fucking
you know,
movie.
the
Like,
13-year-old
I don't
boy
think it
who's
was anything
obviously going through
groundbreaking.
puberty as the young girl is in
Other
the house
than,
walking
you know,
around in a
I don't think
bikini.
it's overhyped.
It's like,
Yeah.
all right, you
I
get
really
it. So
don't.
instead, maybe
Yeah.
he's got the
Like,
one
just
hand
for a
on the
movie,
phone,
they'd be like,
Yeah, yeah.
movie,
Like,
but
alright,
this
you see
is
the blanket movement. It's like,
more
oh,
than a movie.
come on.
Fucking. This is why I was
sickos.
curious to see if you
And
wanted
this
to
movie
get
where
into
it's
some
pretty
of the
much child trafficking is
social
the
media
main plot.
controversy or rumors or whatever about this
You know,
too. Did you just want to stick to the grading, or
was
do you want to peel into this onion a little bit?
they handle it
Yeah,
like
no,
with
no,
very
down
tasteful.
to break it down a
You know,
little
Yeah,
bit.
cool.
So
it's
yeah,
very wholesome. If I could,
what
whatever.
so yeah,
you love that
I do
wholesome
know a little bit
review.
about like
wholesome.
there was a really big
No,
push
no,
against
but,
this movie, especially from
yeah,
like
no,
the crazy left.
Well, that much
Uh,
I give them
Calling
tons
this
of
a
credit for. I think
conspiracy
that would
theory
probably be
movie
my
or you
biggest
know whatever
positive
the
for it,
hell.
but,
Yeah.
Uh,
Meanwhile, it's based
um,
on a real guy on a real
let's see.
event
I'll
with
try to be
actual
quick
real
with grading
footage that you
this.
said they sliced
I
into
actually
it.
thought
So
of another
what's the
movie we didn't even.
conspiracy?
Right,
Fucking
movie I'm not
right.
gonna
Pedo
watch.
protectors. Answer me
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
just-
and
you
then
know,
you know,
like,
yeah,
alright,
I thought
so
honestly, I was expecting something.
what I thought
more to be
was
honest,
gonna happen, and it didn't happen, was I thought it was gonna be like some major
but
politician
anyway,
is behind. It kind
you
of
know,
starts off with this
behind this trafficking. I
this
thought they were gonna
girl,
probably
getting-
expose like some weird like
none of that shit happened. It's
solicited
actually
for,
pretty
like,
young
pictures
pictures.
for,
You know,
like-
it's like some
like
teen
people
like
like
South
young
America,
modeling,
whatever.
acting talent agency
kind of
type
mostly
shit,
takes place
right?
there.
Mhm.
And the
And then,
guy just wants to get
she
She hooks the little
sister
girl
back,
and
once he
her
rescues
brother.
this kid. It's
Right.
coming to go get pictures. The
So,
father
drives him on the bus, signs a
you know,
consent
a
form or
pretty
whatever.
basic premise.
It's not anything,
you know,
and they're
that's-
picked up by like this young model chick. She was like, "Yeah, no, we'll take
again,
you here."
it's a true
you know,
story.
They
you
come
know,
get
there's
their
not
shots.
anything that's
Right.
far
He
fetched.
drops him
that's
off
why,
at the
you gotta
place.
dive into the
He's like, "Parents
the
can't be
hype
here,
around
but
it, you know.
come pick him up at
Because okay, if
7:30."
you're saying the movie review
When he
as a
comes back at
movie, you're saying
7:30,
it
it's an
worked.
empty fucking
It's
apartment.
actually a good
Yeah.
movie, has likability, blah blah blah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
that's great.
From there,
this is
I'm like
almost
my
like
heart's pumping. Like,
How
oh
that
my
last
god,
movie,
you
Leave
know what
the
I mean?
World
Like,
Behind, is
it's
a
just- yeah.
statement. It's now
Turned
this
into
movie is
Taken.
also a statement.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
you know, but it's
And
essentially.
then a lot of the hardcore left
But then
in
I guess
media,
from there it
on
shifts
people in
to
their
this
personal
guy,
lives,
Jim
publicly
Caviezel,
said shit.
known for
Actors
playing
had
Jesus
said
in The
shit.
Passion.
Politicians dismissed it.
uh,
They
now
really
playing
tried to
on
put the
Savior
spin
again,
like,
I
yeah,
guess,
this
right?
is just
But,
some QAnon fueled hype nonsense
but
movie.
you know, they cut to him,
And I'm just like,
and
how,
he's like,
and
you
then a lot of people,
trying to hook some
not just me, it's
pedos,
not my words, but
and
people like,
get
how
them
dare
arrested
they
and, like,
fucking
do
dismiss
some
the
crazy bust.
victims in
So
real
you got some
life
crazy,
like that?
you
By
got some like cool stuff
fucking
there.
knocking this movie.
Right.
Then there was this
And
counter
again, you know,
push from
They don't
I
show
think
any.
the right,
I'm really. This
where
is my
they were
one
saying
big credit to the movie is that they
something
kept
to the
it
effect
safe
like
enough.
Jim
Like,
Caviezel
or,
played Jesus, and
you know, they
he's
didn't
actually
push it too
part of
far.
it.
Where I didn't
Look
want.
how
Like,
like
is it?
they're
I
not
think
just so
they,
robotic and calm, like he's brainwashed too. It's like this is a
Let's just keep it
movie.
real.
Yeah.
Almost like how
Show
you
kids
said,
getting
because
fucked,
they
right?
don't
Not even fake
reveal any
fucked.
politician
No,
stuff. They
not
just
even
kind of
fa-
like,
yeah,
oh
exactly.
yeah, it's
Well,
these
and again, like this other movie that we just talked about,
doing this nasty
Leave the World
thing.
Behind,
So
had nothing to do with any of that, but they still had to have a simulated like fucking jerk off scene with the
over
almost
here.
And it's
look over here because we're really in on it too. Because he's just another actor. He's like, oh yeah, you really think Jim Caviezel and Hollywood cares about these kids? You know, he's just being paid off and doing these publicity tours. They could have just showed him with both hands. It's like, oh yeah, it's just scrolling through his phone. If they're trying to say like they're just taking our kids, 13-year-old, it's like he's in on it, man. As like the young girls in the house. Again, this is not the chicken. It's like, all right, you get it. It's that we're discussing on. He's got the one hand on the phone from somewhere else.
Yeah. Like, I'll tell you why I don't see the blanket movie. I'll tell you why I disagree.
Sickos.
One, in this movie, where it's pretty much career, he pretty much child trafficking is suicide when he played Jesus. Main plot. All right, you know, and who knew that was that the right though? They handle like, oh, who's this guy thinking like he can come in and play our savior?
No, if I could pick a word.
Who's the mainstream media? It was the left.
All right, because there was always a push against religion, or especially I'm sorry. There was always a push that much. I give him tons of credit for. I think that would probably be my biggest positive. The right was all about, at least they were more Protestant.
Let's see. I'll try to be quick.
Catholic,
I actually thought of
certainly
as
well.
We didn't even,
so like you did have a heavy like Catholic.
Support. I thought honestly I was expecting something
like the Passion
more, to be honest.
But the left was always pushing it.
The media. I remember the media,
but anyway. Like CNN was doing stories about the Passion.
This girl getting kept. They kept showing the scene
solicited
where the Pharisees or the Sadducees, whoever is like the higher priest, like young modeling
through the coins,
acting talent agency type shit, right?
The coins fall on the floor, and Judas got to pick them up.
The little girl and her brother, and they kept playing that scene of the father motion drives him on the bus, signs of consent.
Is this movie anti-Semitic?
And they're picked up by like this young model chick.
That was the big thing. It was 100% labeled anti-Semitic.
He drops them off at the place.
The media.
He's like, parents can't be here.
Trying to get that was one of the first movies. Like they're trying to get this band.
When he comes back at 7:30, it's an empty fucking apartment.
I think I told you I went to go see it with some coworkers. Rant,
and
from there, my heart's pumping.
Your impression is already salted, or soured by like these outside reviews and like anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic.
Essentially,
okay, this movie probably sucks, or what's going on.
But
that was more like what's going on. It shifts to. And then when I saw it, I just wasn't paying attention to the world at that age, at that time, the way I am now. But I remember thinking like, oh, this movie's boring and it sucks. And I was like, and I'm down with Jesus. And even then, I just didn't know that I knew what they were, like the Gospels and stuff like that. I just didn't have the titles for everything at that time. But it was all in my head from Sunday school.
So you got some crazy.
So I was like, I knew all that stuff
there.
And then I was like, who's behind this? I was like, the same.
And again, it's
the reason even back then
they don't show any. I'm really this is my one big credit to the movie. Is that
nefarious?
That one. I felt like the same thing when I first saw. The Christ. Thank God they didn't show there is this thing or whatever with a Catholic scene. Let's just keep it real. Where they do have to push that fucking shit in your face.
Exactly.
All of it. The whole story.
This other movie that we just talked about, the
be quiet in their
Leave the World
worship,
Behind.
You know what I mean?
Had nothing to do with it.
By releasing
to have a simulated like fucking.
It's just another thing. I did really think like it was just like
why it served nothing. Honestly,
really get
you could have had
the
same scene where he's
just
in
really
bed looking
dragged
at
out the beating scene, and I was like,
and that's it.
You know what?
If
you're not
right.
Everybody knows the
They
could have showed him with both hands that he was born of a virgin, and they're trying to say died on a cross. He was a 13-year-old boy who's obviously going through puberty as the young girl is in the house walking around in a bikini. More than half the fucking planet. It's like, all right, you get it. Instead. So even back then, I did feel like I was like, "Oh, this is just Catholic."
You see the blanket movement?
No, I fucking showed Jesus catching that beat.
In this movie, where
it's strongly disagree. I mean, for one, the suffering of Jesus is extremely important to the story. Literally, the Passion of the Christ is based off.
It was, but if you don't care about Jesus, you don't care about the beating.
They handle it like
so
you don't care about the beating.
And you're worshiping cows, sacred cows and shit, which is a practice that doesn't exist in this world. Then what the fuck do you care about Jesus getting all those lashes?
You don't. Funny enough, you know what? I gotta
that much. I give them tons of credit for. I think that because Ethiopians were actually among the very, very first Christians.
In fact,
I'll try to be quick. Like I could have said, fucking,
I actually thought of another movie we didn't.
The Congo for all. I'm not gonna watch.
So the Ethiopians actually.
Yeah, I thought honestly I was expecting something more. To be
it
honest,
literally is the Stations of the Cross.
It's okay.
Like, I think you talked about this before.
When you go to a church and you look,
it kind of starts off with
side
this,
of the pews.
This girl,
usually in an order, you'll see like
from
him
solicited,
like carrying the cross, falling,
for,
getting up again.
Young
modeling.
I got that the movie was
that acting talent agency type shit,
story,
right?
Yeah.
And listen, here's the thing.
It stayed accurate
to the little girl and her brother.
Yeah, yes, it did.
Coming to go get
and the father wasn't anti-Semitic at all. I walked out of there saying that's not anti-Semitic.
In fact, the main character
picked up by like this young model chick. She
was like, "Yeah, no, we'll take them here. You know, they're gonna come get their shots."
God, it's like that.
He drops them off at the place.
Well, I mean,
he's like,
won't watch that.
Parents can't be here, but
guess what's on
Gateway watch now? I wouldn't watch that.
When he comes back at 7:30, it's an empty fucking apartment. It's half the movie.
Wow.
You know what I would say is from there. I'm like my heart's pumping. Like, oh my god, you know what I mean?
But you feel better now. You feel better now. Catholic turned into pagan.
I don't know. I think
essentially
the point on it. I mean, it's important, but then I guess
Hollywood
there it shifts to this guy.
Hollywood was against this movie,
known for playing Jesus in The Passion.
Yeah, but for different reasons.
Now playing
they were against
again,
it.
I guess, right? You don't think they were against it because it was a Jesus movie?
Yeah.
But they cut to him. All right, and again, it was like
traditional.
It wasn't
because of the graphic scene that they had to do, just like the dialogue they had to force in that nefarious movie.
So you got some crazy. You got some.
They just got to fucking throw in the line, crowbar the thing, beat the guy a lot.
And again, it's they don't show any. This is my one big credit to the movie,
in my humble opinion,
is that they kept it safe enough.
Especially with the Passion.
They did.
A lot of these
where I didn't want.
Like,
I think if they
did a huge
services story, and I mean, again, I'll fucking point the finger at Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah. In the Last Temptation of Christ, there were like these.
No,
totally off the wall. And again, this other movie that we just talked about,
the latter. I disagree with you there.
The World
I never saw the
had
latter
nothing to do with any of that, but they still had to have a simulated Last Temptation of Christ
with the teeth.
Willem Dafoe, and it's like apparently it served nothing.
Has sex with
honestly, you could have had the same scene where he's just in bed looking at
like
all that stuff's blasphemy, and that's it.
Right, that's Da Vinci Code shit.
Right,
yeah,
right.
That's really what it was. Just scrolling through his phone. And I've always heard of that movie, but I never saw it. The 13-year-old boy who's obviously going through puberty as the young girl is in the house about Jesus Christ Superstar. All right, you get it. Is that instead, regardless if you didn't like how they set dressed everything, it's still fucking it's still straight.
In this movie, where
they don't stray from the text. Not one bit.
Main plot.
And I know you were when you first time I
said 100% changed the lines. It's like The Chosen is guilty of this too. They changed the lines that are in the very in the book in the Bible.
Yeah,
it's very wholesome. Or they
like a,
and it plays
Jesus
Christ was like, hey man, or they don't talk like that, do they?
No.
Hey, Jesus, give me some soul on that.
Well,
that much
on that way. So what's the buzz?
Do they talk like that? Don't they talk like that in the movie?
One character does. He's like, what's happening? Tell me what's the buzz. But see, here's the thing, because that's a musical. So if they're changing it around a little bit, it's only because they're trying to. And the music is heavy as fuck. That's another.
I thought honestly I was expecting something.
The music's heavy, but
what Marilyn Manson's Antichrist Superstar. It's okay. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. But anyway,
The Chosen really changed this shit, and the other one you mentioned I didn't see, but I thought, in my opinion, Jesus Christ Superstar at least
young pictures for
if not word for word, they didn't change the story.
For acting talent agency type shit, right? He did get crucified. He did raise from the dead.
She hooks the little girl and her brother.
It's coming to go get pictures. The father
give it credit
drives him on the bus, signs and also to the Chosen's credit.
Whenever Jesus speaks,
they're picked up by like this young model chick. She was like, "Yeah, no, we'll take them here." They're gonna come get their shots.
The thing is,
he drops them off at the place.
They get a little.
He's like, "Parents can't be here, but."
Too friendly with
when he comes back at 7:30, it's an empty fucking apartment.
What's the word?
Wow.
writers.
From there, I'm like my heart's pumping. Like,
oh my God,
did
too
much.
You know what I mean?
Whatever. Yeah. They're taking too many.
It's now
freedoms
taken
with the story. Yeah. But it's
So,
essentially. Speaking of which,
you know what? Let's actually.
then,
I guess
we'll go to
from
that
there it shifts to this guy. Jim
let's watch this
Caviezel,
trailer.
known for playing Jesus in the Passion.
Hate watch.
Maybe we'll keep it Jesus centric. Savior again, I guess, right? But
I think I have a good movie in mind.
Yeah. But they cut to him and he's like, trying to hook some pedos, and get them arrested and like do some crazy bust. So you got some like cool stuff there.
Yeah, and just to tie it all back, I just thought.
And again,
it's fucking beating.
They don't show any. I'm really this is my one big credit to the movie.
Everybody
is that
fucking
kept it
out.
safe enough.
Chill out,
like or
we got it.
No, you're wrong.
They didn't push it
You're
too
wrong.
far.
You're wrong. I didn't
the suffering
want,
is a big part of it.
They didn't show even
whatever
a kid's sex scene.
But if you don't, then who gives a fuck?
And then it's just getting Hollywood right-funded Hollywood propaganda.
Wrong. And again, like this other movie that we just talked about,
because this was a Mel Gibson. Leave the world behind. No pun intended.
Had nothing to do with any of that, but they still had to have a simulated
when
here to tell this story. And again, to stay true.
Why it served nothing.
In fact,
honestly,
he could have had the same scene
where he's just in bed.
Literary freedom. I think that he took was how he portrayed the devil in the movie, like kind of movie.
They could have just showed him with both hands, scrolling through his phone. If they're trying to say like how the 13-year-old boy who's obviously going through puberty, as the young girl is in the house walking around in a bikini. So it's like, all right, you get it.
That's about the most.
He just got the one hand on the phone.
It's straight, and I don't even know if that's really the right term, because
sickos.
The devil was in this movie where
it's pretty much
the way they talk about
child trafficking.
The devil just didn't know who Jesus really was. The devil thought Jesus was just another prophet. Like
it was
a favorite, like David or something.
They handle it like with very
right. So
it's
very easy to realize who he was. That he was actually
you love that flash review.
What the plan was
for resurrection and all that.
No, but
but
other than that,
that full circle. Then I do remember hearing a push from what I thought was like the right being Jim Caviezel a phony.
Let's see. I'll try to be quick with great. I actually thought of another movie we didn't even.
I didn't get that. I didn't really get that much.
Did you hear anything like that on Twitter or anything like that?
Not so much. What did you see that like on Fox or one of the mainstream?
No, it was social media. It was social media. People doing little TikTok videos pointing out how Jim Caviezel's always walking around looking sedated on these interviews, and like he's just hamming it up for the camera, and then he's protecting some.
He's hamming it up by being sedated in front of the camera. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like fake tears and fake crying and stuff like that. Again, that's what I see, on TikTok.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, but I mean, like, look, I mean, great. I mean, if that's the worst he did, I mean, unless you show me he was on the flight log, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, that is such small potatoes. Like, I can definitely understand, especially when you're on the road promoting a movie. From what I understand, the way like those,
it's ruined.
The press circuit goes is like you sit down, these people ask you the same 5 fucking questions like 40 times from 40 different people. And you have to look excited about it every time. By the time you get to the end, you're a bowl of Jell-O.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
totally.
I don't think that's anything. I think that's such a nitpick on how he interviews. And he only picks like these wholesome movies. Like he doesn't really go too crazy with picking out of bounds stuff. But yeah, man. No, dude.
Very interesting.
Yeah, you're definitely.
That's what I was saying. Well, if we're just talking about the passion, that's one thing. But getting back to the Sound of Freedom movie, yeah. Just getting back to how but there was this push coming from multiple sides, straight down the middle with the media downplaying it, bashing it. The Antifa hardcore left pretty much being like, it's not true, it's tinfoil hat, it's QAnon, blah blah blah. And then this other push where it's like, don't be fooled, all you patriots, fucking Jim Caviezel, Hollywood masking. What do they really expose? And then they got the real life guy. Nobody's helping him. He's going around talking about how he barely gets funding and people barely listen to him. So it's like they're just keeping the whole thing down. This is just more Hollywood shit to keep you fooled. I was like, wow. So this movie got hit by 3 different angles.
This isn't really a Hollywood. This is Angel Studios again, which they're kind of, they have like an interesting setup, but they're mostly faith-based, and their movies are better than your average faith-based movies.
Mm-hmm.